Going to be exactly even because that's just not going to happen, but I think it's going to sound good anyway.
Okay. And it's by round, we just switch the parts, right? It's like one part and then the other part.
So we might give this introduction a few times. I'm Rabbi Jacob Chattanoover. My title is Rav Jacob. My job is Director of Congregational Learning. So in part that means I'm in charge of the school and educational programs, and my hope is to bring a culture of Torah learning to everything we do.
Sure. I'm from Rebecca, work at the J, but I'm a member here, and I really like leading services. Also, fun fact, this happened last night. Basically, I get excited about things about plants, and then Rav Jacob is able to find Mishnah or Talmud about whatever I'm excited about plants.
Okay, so let's talk about it.
All right, sweet.
Okay, so what is the next holiday that's coming up? It's not for like a month, but
Less than 3 weeks.
it's less than 3 weeks away. Eli, your hand up. It's Tu B'Shvat. What is Tu B'Shvat?
I don't know.
Okay, does anyone know what Tu B'Shvat is about?
No, but
Oh, I see a hand there. Yeah.
it's the birthday of the tree.
It's the birthday of the tree. What does that mean? Why do trees need a birthday? No. It's so that we can celebrate them. That's true. Yes.
Everything deserves a birthday.
Okay, sure. I mean, these are all true. Yeah.
Back when our people were lived in an agrarian type society, trees were a form of income,
Mm-hmm.
fruit trees especially, and trees have to reach a certain maturity before they're really producing.
Right. So we have a few Jewish laws and customs about trees. So when you plant a fruit tree, are you allowed to eat from the fruit like the first fruit it makes?
No.
No. How long do you have to wait before you can eat from a fruit tree?
Probably until all of the fruits are made.
Well, that's true in most years, but how old does the tree have to be? You have to wait a certain number of years. If you don't know, I'll just tell you. Yes? It has to be 4, right? You have to wait 3 years. You can't eat the fruit for the first 3 years. All the fruit in the first 3 years is just for the tree to use. And then in the 4th year, you can eat from the tree. But even then, the first fruits that come up don't belong to you. You have to give them to the poor and the people who work in the temple, at least in Israeli ancient times. So, because you need to know how old trees are, trees need to have a birthday. Because we're not going to keep track of when every single tree was planted, all the trees have a birthday. And that's Tu
Because
B'Shvat.
of the rings.
Oh, because of the rains. Say more. Eli?
What?
Say more.
I don't know.
Okay, so why is the Tu B'Shvat means the 15th of the month of Shvat, which is under 3 weeks. Why is the 15th of Shvat the new year for trees? Does anyone know? There's a couple of reasons. Okay, so what season are we in right now here in Colorado?
Winter.
Winter. Okay, what happens during winter?
It's snowing, the trees can't grow.
It's snowy, the trees don't look like they're growing, they don't have leaves, right?
Some trees are just storing water, so when it's during spring, they can blossom.
They're actually just storing water so that when it's during spring, they can blossom.
Who's been teaching this?
I had no idea.
Okay, and in the land of Israel, what happens during they don't really call it winter, right? We get snow, and maybe you don't realize this, but a lot of our water from the whole year comes from the snow that falls during this time. It melts in the spring from the mountains. And a similar thing happens in Israel, that all the rain falls during this time of year. All the rain that's going to fall during the whole year, pretty much. And so when they were growing food or trees, this is a really important time of year. And Tu B'Shvat marks the middle of winter. But why would we celebrate trees in the middle of winter when they look dead, there's no leaves? Why is that the birthday? No, Mom, you have an idea?
Because Israel's across the earth and maybe it's summer.
Oh, that's true, but it's not in a different hemisphere.
Oh.
It's still the rainy season. It's not as, it's pretty cold in Jerusalem, but it's not as cold. But still, why the middle of the rainy season or the middle of winter?
Huh?
Yes. You remember your name?
Noah.
Noah. You tell me this every week and I forget. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Maybe because the snow and the rain go pretty slow.
Yes, very good. Okay, so similar to what we've just putting together what we've said so far. We're halfway through winter, or we will be in a few weeks, right? Which means most of the rain that was going to fall has fallen, which means that the trees, what did you say about the trees? They're actually just storing
water so they can blossom in the spring.
They're storing water so they can blossom in the spring. So they've taken in most of the water they need for the rest of the year by this point. And what else starts happening in the trees? So water comes down into the roots, and what goes up in the winter? Becca, do you want to say? Yes, no. You can guess.
Snow?
Yes, but what goes up the tree?
What do we put on our pancakes?
Yes, what do we put on our pancakes?
Oh, syrup.
Yes, and syrup comes from?
Sap.
Sap. The sap starts rising. So, Becca, do you want to say what our conversation was last night? Like how we started talking about sap, right?
Yeah, so we were talking about like, should we do a tree song? And then Rob Jacob was like, Farmer Becca, do you connect with Tu B'Shvat? And I was like, on a philosophical level. And I was like, I guess I started connecting to Tu B'Shvat when I lived in the Northeast, and we tapped maple trees. Because it's exactly at this time that we tap maple trees. And then Rob Jacob is like, oh, there's a Mishnah about that, about the sap rising on Tu B'Shvat.
Yeah, I was a little wrong. It's actually Rashi on the Talmud there. But basically, in the Talmud, in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, when it talks about all the New Years, the question is asked, why the 15th? And so one of our great commentators, Rashi, says the reason is because the sap starts rising. So we're halfway through the winter, which means we're halfway done with the winter. We're on our way out of winter. And the sap is starting to rise, which is going to keep the trees fed for the rest of winter. So the question I wanted you to ask each other, turn to someone, maybe someone you don't know or you haven't seen in a while. What gets you through the winter? We're halfway through, and the sap is rising in the trees. That's going to get them through. What gets you through the winter? Or if you really like winter, what's your favorite part of winter? So turn to someone you don't know or haven't seen in a while. If you haven't seen them in a week, that's fine. But everyone has to do it even. You get to go see it. Okay, take one more minute. If there's someone you don't recognize, go introduce yourself.
We don't know. All we know is that she agreed for now.
I'm pretty much quoted the Rashi. But it's also like exactly that. The sap. Okay. Let's bring it back in. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Let's prepare to step into Shabbat and take it down a notch a little bit. So let's take a big deep breath in. Big deep breath out. Who feels like they could lead us in a big stretch? Feel like Mitten?
I will. You want me to?
Yeah, just one breath of a stretch.
Maybe you should come up with it.
Oh.
Because there might be people on live stream who get stressed.
Always down for a breath and a stretch.
Yes.
Okay, guys, let's take a
feel a little bit more into Shabbat. Song number 2. Oh, wait, before that. Let's do it. Song number 2. Oh, sorry. You start. We have a special song to prepare us for Tu B'Shvat, we just talked about. And if you weren't here for that, you can ask your neighbors. That Farmer Becca is going to lead us in.
All right, it's call and response.
That's like a repeat after me.
And you may need to get up because it involves making shapes with your body of a tree when we get to the tree. So I'll say tree, and you make a shape with your body of a tree. Okay? Well, I've got a friend.
Well, I've got a friend
Who comforts me.
who comforts me.
I'm a kid.
I'm a kid.
He's a tree.
He's a tree.
We grow. We grow. We grow. We grow. We grow.
We grow.
Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat. Tree. 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 Tu B'Shvat. On my birthday.
On my birthday,
We eat a lot.
we eat a lot.
On her birthday.
On her birthday,
It's Tu B'Shvat.
it's Tu B'Shvat.
We grow.
We grow, we grow, we grow, we grow, we grow.
Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat. Tree. 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 Tu B'Shvat.
That was good.
There were some good trees.
Song number 3, we're stepping into Shabbat. Preparing to welcome the Shabbat Queen, Shabbat Bride, with Lecha Dodi. It's not over.
This is the best handout.
Psalm number 5 on here. Let Becca get to towards it. Maybe we can take another big breath together. Okay. So, I don't know everyone here. Actually, if this is your first time or you've never met me, would you be willing to introduce yourself? Okay, go ahead.
I've met you, but it's our first time at family Shabbat.
Would you introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm Betsy.
Is Betsy goes to show? Yes.
Some of you may know
I'm
Betsy.
Noah, and I'm Betsy's daughter.
This part I knew.
I'm her oldest and her favorite. I'm Betsy's son, Cal.
Nice to meet you.
And he's anxious. He doesn't like people. I know.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, over there.
I'm Leah. I'm Baba, Asher, and Jonah, and I'm
That was welcome. Anyone else?
Yeah, over here.
Anyone else? Welcome. Okay.
Don't you have a friend who's here for the first time?
Oh, yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Jacob. I'm Rabbi Mark and Rita and Gina. But my name is Rabbi Rachel Bright, and it's really good to be here with you this Shabbat.
Welcome.
Okay.
Rachel is in Jerusalem.
Was in Jerusalem on my way to Ashland, Oregon.
So, as I said before, my job is Director of Congregational Learning, which means my goal is to get people learning with each other. So, what happens in this week's Torah portion? Last week, the Israelites were in Egypt, and a new Pharaoh arose, and the Israelites started being in slavery, right? We talked about it a little bit maybe. This means that they couldn't control what they did with their time. They had to work and build stuff. And then Moses told Pharaoh, let my people go so that they can worship God. And Pharaoh said no, and also now your work is harder. And this week, what happens? So, a lot happens this week. But one of the most famous things that happens, God says, I want the people to go free. And as part of that process, I'm going to make stuff happen in Egypt. I'm going to make stuff happen to the weather, to the water, to the animals. We call the 10 plagues. Is anybody familiar with the 10 plagues? Yes, 7 of them are in this week's parsha. So, I have a little, on one side of this piece of paper, it reminds you which 7 plagues happened in this week's parsha, this week's Torah portion. And on the back, there's a little mini debate about God sending the plagues. Why did God send plagues to the Egyptians? Was it a good idea? Was it a bad idea? Was it fair? Was it not fair? I don't have the answer. I'm sure that all of you do, and all of us who collected together. So I'm going to have some volunteers help me hand out these little debate questions. I'd like this to happen in your family or in groups of families. Eli, can you give some over here? Maybe we'd like to hand it. Will give us about 4.5 minutes, and then maybe we'll share out some answers. But I really hope that you engage in vigorous debate with each other. That's too small. Which on the other side?
Okay. God tells us
I'm saying that you know the roles of the people who are
Yeah, so they always were
the more you relate, the less the more we're going to say. No, so maybe you're are you guys going to
names.
You want water? Maybe you want to see what it was? Okay, Steve.
Like water? Just here. I don't know whether it's
They didn't go into like, I mean, I guess it's kid stuff. They didn't go into like how hard it is to stop.
Okay. One more time. Try 1, 2, 3, 0. 2 more minutes. Any more time, debaters? Okay, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I want to hear like maybe 2 answers in favor the plagues were a good idea, and maybe 2 answers the plagues were a bad idea. Okay, yes, and can you say your name loudly? Aviv. Wait, hold on. Let me get you a microphone. Yes, go ahead. Okay. You can project. Go ahead, Aviv. So it was like punishment for them being mean. Okay? Over here, yes. You can whisper.
He had a better idea. What was your better idea?
Go ahead. But it shouldn't be both the Yeah, like honestly, I think the Plague of Frogs is similar to that. But yes.
Can you come to the center and repeat that one just a little bit louder?
Yes. What was your name? Lior. Lior's idea was that it should have rained hippos to squash Pharaoh, and I said maybe the Plague of Frogs was similar to that, like raining frogs everywhere. Like there's a midrash that it actually was one giant frog. And who thinks it was not a good idea or not fair? Yes.
I just think we should not be celebrating, even if somebody was mean or doing something not right. I believe that those people are hurt people and they need help and not punishment.
If somebody is doing something mean, maybe it means that they need help. That there's something's going wrong in their life, and that's why they're mean. They need help, not punishment.
Therapy for Pharaoh.
Okay. Legitimate. Noah, and then Noah. Yes, wait, hold on. Egyptian was the decision maker, why was every Egyptian punished for Pharaoh's decisions? They're not all bad. No, in any group of people, it's impossible for everyone to be bad. Yes, no, and then I think we'll move on. Do you have a comment also? Or you just start? Okay.
I agree with this because even if it wasn't fair that some people had to get this cruel punishment, Pharaohs, the Israelites were also getting cruel punishments. They were working really hard, and if they had tried other things, like Moses went up and said, "Let my people go," but that didn't work. So I think they had to, or else the slaves would have stayed slaves forever.
And this was a suggestion I heard from Rabbi Rachel. Would Pharaoh have let them go with anything else? Was this the only option? We don't really know. Okay, I'll take one final comment. And you can continue the discussion at dinner. Yes, do it. Right. So that's again the same question. To get the people free.
What was that?
He said that the reason for the plagues was to set the Jews free. You shouldn't forget that the reason wasn't just to hurt the Egyptians, it was to set the Jews free. Maybe it's the only thing that would have worked. We don't really know. Okay. I hope that we do continue the conversation at dinner. This is how Torah gets learned. Thank you, everyone.
The microphone is fantastic.
And if you want more debates like this, where could you find them?
Oh, yes. This comes from a wonderful weekly magazine called Vash. We have this week's Vash right here, last week's Vash right here, and 2 weeks ago's Vash right here. And they'll be here all the time. You take them home, have conversations and debates around your Shabbat table with your family. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move into preparing for the Shema. We're going to start with Baruch Hu, which is number 6 here. Just to sort of bring ourselves back into a prayer space from a learning space. I want everyone to stand. When we say Baruch Hu, bend their knees and bow a little. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Just to lead us into the Shema. As Rabbi Mark says, the Shema teaches us how to listen. Shema means listen. And the first sound in the word Shema is shh. Listen, we have to get a little quiet. And then when you hear something, you might go, You might hear something interesting, or you might be digesting it. And then when you reach a new level of understanding, you might go, Let's put that together.
V'shivtecha
Moving from the Shema into our own few minutes of private prayer. We're going to sing Vishamru together, which is number 7. And then we're going to have a minute or two of quiet prayer where you can say your own words in your own way. And maybe if you want a prompt, something you might think about, is like we talked about before, what is going to get you to the winter? Where do you feel like is the staff that's going to feed you? We're almost halfway through it. Shamru is number 7 on here, and that'll lead us into a few minutes of our own prayer.
Yeah.
Shalom in Ramah. Say Shalom
Aleinu is when we pray for making a better world, for taking responsibility. And we take this little piece from Aleinu called V'Hashevota, which is number 9 here. And it's also a call and response, so if there's any kids who want to help lead V'Hashevota,
Oh, you know that one.
second graders can do it for sure, I'm told.
Where are they?
Should we stand up?
Yes, we should stand up.
There you are.
We'll take our cue from you, okay? There's a lot going on in the world this week. Yes. We'll pray that it's a better week than before. Ready? 3, 2, 1. This week in the community, just before Mourner Scottish, this week in the community we want to recognize the people who are marking yard sites. Robert Sturts for his father Sidney Sturts. Together with Eleanor Judd, grandmother of Jessica Hirsch. Seymour Ornstein, father of Peter Ornstein. Eleanor Judd, mother of Nina Judd. Moses Eisner, grandfather of Julian Eisner. Sidney Shucker, father of Dr. Mark Shucker. Ruth Schrichte, friend of Janet Lowe. Frida Gordon, grandmother of Lloyd Gelman. Daniel Sean Himovich, nephew of Donnie Bay. Jacob Lanevand, whose yard site is being observed by Ellen Court. Pauline Alterman, great-grandmother of Leslie Kimmerling. Harry Halpern, grandfather of Rachel Amaru. Adele Piner, aunt of Shirley Gang. Alexander Korda, father of Paul Korda. Golda Safran, mother of William Safran. Joy Lowy, mother of Ann Lowy. Fatal Markowitz, mother of Rabbi Rosalie Osian. Seth Dembowitz, uncle of Leo Dembowitz. And brother of Adam Dembowitz. Uncle to Willow, and brother to Dr. Lauren Dembowitz. Anina Aviva Cass, daughter of Enbin Cass. Matilda Eiftersheimer, grandmother of Muriel Kay. Isidore Irving Wolf, father of Alan Wolf. Dorothy Agin, mother of Judy Megabo. Reuben Sternberg, father of Charlotte Smokler. Ada Gadden, grandmother of Karen Robinson. Esther Dima Schneider, grandmother of Jane Zirkin. Ellen Lefkowitz, close friend of Sarah Jane Sturts. Write it down for Mourner Scottish, which is number 10. Yitgadal v'yitgadash share marking your site for me. Does anyone else want to say a name?
I'm a few weeks late on my
I'm saying Kaddish for Rabbi Richard.
Okay, before we finish, I want to just let you know about some stuff that's coming up. First of all, I want us to all join together in wishing Rabbi Mark a very, very happy birthday. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear mom. Happy birthday to you. Okay, on February 1st, Saturday night, there's a pajama Havdalah, family pajama Havdalah. Come, bring your pajamas for Havdalah and dinner. Dinner followed by 5 p.m.
Bring your stuffies, wear your pajamas.
Wear your pajamas, bring your stuffies.
Good idea. Wear your stuff and bring it.
Right.
Put your stuffies in their pajamas. That is
Yeah.
February 1st next week?
Yes.
Next week, yes. February 8th, then the week after that, is the Super Shalanu. If you have kids 0 to 5, it's Shalanu that happens at the same time as Shabbat school, and the kindergartners and first graders help lead Shalanu. So, come to that. And check your email for information about other upcoming things. The Jewish Shabbat Seder. What?
There's just a lovely Shalani car.
There's a
It's
lo-
super in its own way.
Yes. And you're always welcome to join us on Shabbat morning. Services start at 9:30, followed by lunch every week. We're looking forward to Shabbat, as I said, and save the date also. Purim evening this year is together with Neve Kodesh at Neve Kodesh, starting at 5:30 with a potluck, and then a family-friendly Megillah reading, followed by a traditional Megillah.
And next Friday night we have musical Kabbalat Shabbat here, 5:30. Musical Kabbalat Shabbat. Really great. And tomorrow, if anyone's looking for an alternative prayer experience, Rabbi Eva Saxboner is leading Avodat Lev at 10 a.m. tomorrow. A different kind of Shabbat morning service. What's happening?
Do you want to say about the climate summit?
There's a lot of Jewish environmental stuff happening in February. The Jewish Climate Summit is happening February 2nd. There's a Family Tu B'Shvat program at the J on February 9th. There's the Community Tu B'Shvat Seder on February 12th. Ask Heather about it. So that's a lot. And of course, and actually You Fix It Clinic happening at the J with Wayne.
When?
Yeah.
When?
Oh, February 25th. All in honor of trees. Guys.
Excellent. You Fix It Clinic.
Yeah.
Bring things to fix, and they'll fix them together. We're going to move into Kiddush now, and then into our meal. Shalom Aleichem is number 11. Yeah, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi'ileh, Malachei HaMalachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu, Shalom Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi'ileh, Malachei HaMalachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu, Mi'ileh, HaShalom, Malachei Shalom, passing out Kiddush. Now is a great time to bless your children and children teaching your parents.
Bless you, mother. I think you want me to. No. Okay.
I'll bring it.
Not yet.
Vayireh vayivoker yom hashishi, vayichulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzebah. Vayichal Elohim vayom hashvi melachto asher asa. Vayishkot vayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa. Vayivarech Elohim et yom hashvi vayikadesh oto ki rosh Shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim aso. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu v'shabbat kodsho v'yahava v'ratzon inchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila mikrei kodesh zecher yetziat Mitzrayim
Kibanu b'chata elchanu kiyashta mikol ha'olim v'shamat kodeshecha v'yahavu ratzon v'imchaltanu.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen.
We're going to wash and then say on to Yadayim and then motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim. Who wants to join me for motzi over here? Don't just take one piece to start so that everyone gets it.
Get an apple pea downstairs. You did great. Nice job.
Please join us downstairs for dinner.